Welcome back to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into a question that sounds super simple on the surface, but actually has a deeply complex answer. What exactly is poverty? I mean, we use the word all the time, right? But pinning down exactly what it means in a measurable way, well, that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. Now, we absolutely have to start with a foundational and honestly a pretty staggering statistic. Right now, in India, it's estimated that every fourth person is poor. Literally 1 in 4. Just take a second to really let the scale of that sink in. We're not talking about a small fraction here. We're talking about a massive chunk of the population.
And this statistic, it isn't just some distant, abstract number sitting on an economist's spreadsheet. It represents the very real daily lives that we observe all around us. When we talk about poverty, we're talking about landless laborers working out in the villages. We're talking about families packed into overcrowded urban juggies. It's the daily wage workers struggling just to secure their next meal. And heartbreakingly, it's the child workers you might see at the local dabas. This right here, this is the everyday, on-the-ground reality of that 1 in 4 statistic.
So what actually unites all of these completely different human experiences into one single economic concept? Well, it boils down to a very precise definition. Poverty is fundamentally defined as a situation where an individual just fails to earn sufficient income to buy their absolute minimum needs for subsistence. At its core, it is simply a lack of income to acquire the bare-bone necessities of life.
But that begs the question, right? What exactly is inside that minimum subsistence basket? Obviously, we're talking about a reasonable, satisfactory nutritional diet, because food is the absolute bedrock, for sure. But the basket doesn't stop there. It strictly requires minimum clothing and housing, alongside a basic level of health facilities, clean drinking water, and education. If literally any of these foundational pillars are missing because of a lack of income, then that individual is experiencing poverty.
Now, modern economics actually builds on this basic definition by looking at 2 super crucial indicators. The first one is social exclusion. Basically, this means the poor are socially isolated. They're forced to live only in poor surroundings with other poor people, effectively shut out from the social equality and opportunities that folks in better surroundings enjoy. The second big indicator is vulnerability. Think of this as a constant looming threat. It means certain communities like backward castes or individuals like widows and handicapped persons have a much greater probability of remaining poor. Why? Because they just don't have the assets, the health, the education, or the job safety nets to bounce back from a crisis. So whether that's a flood, an earthquake, or just a sudden drop in available jobs, they are incredibly vulnerable to staying trapped in poverty.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought to chew on. I want you to try and think beyond just a lack of income. Take a moment to reflect on the physical surroundings and those hidden risks faced by the vulnerable populations living right in your own neighborhoods. Seriously, where do you see these modern indicators of social exclusion and vulnerability playing out in your own community? Grasping these concepts completely changes how you view the economic realities all around you. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this gives you a sharper, clearer lens to view the world.